I am making a very bold claim in this video that if you understand these things appropriately, you will be able to completely get rid of jealousy. Because jealousy is one such emotion that I have felt the least. But when I felt it very strongly, and which is why I inquired a lot into my emotions and I was able to find out the root cause of this emotion. So, if you understand where it sprouts from, you will be able to get rid of the most part of it, because I know so many of you who suffer because of this emotion. I mean, they are really burning from inside when they get jealous with people, or when they get uh, attached with certain things, which I will talk in the video. So, understanding the root cause is very, very important. So, there will be two parts in which we will be talking. One will be in terms of material possessions, that somebody has something better than you. And second, we will be talking in terms of having people around you. Jealousy in terms of people. One is about non living things, second is about the living things. So, what happens is that when somebody gets something and we get jealous, understand that there is a desire inside of you that you wanted that thing, right? So, first we need to acknowledge that I wanted that particular thing. So, if it is something like a job, for example, you and your friend wanted to be in a company, that your friend got the job but you did not get the job, then you need to analyze that at the level of competency, what you can do better, at the level of giving that particular interview which you gave, what can you do better. So when it comes to material positions, things are easier. Instead of beating yourself up कि मेरी तो हमेशा किस्मत ही ऐसी रहती है, or saying कि what can be done, I had given my 100%, but somehow people like him better or her better than me. Instead of justifying by saying all these things, because this is the law of the universe, you get what you deserve, and you get what you believe that you deserve. Whether it is in terms of material possession or in terms of relationships, you get what you deserve. So this analysis has to be done very well. So if you're competent enough and you are a value addition to a company, to an organization, and you have proved it through an interview, through an exam, through anything, and then you get rejected, that is the time where you can very confidently say कि ये तो company का loss था, it's not my loss. I will get 10 other companies like that. So that kind of confidence comes when internally you are a secure person. You have worked enough on yourself, you have gathered the skills which takes to accomplish that particular thing that has been accomplished. This happens in terms of material possessions. For example, you always wanted to buy a car and you suddenly see that, oh, your neighbor has got one. And then you're thinking ki, oh, I wanted a car, but I was not able to buy it, but the neighbor was able to buy it. So now instead of cribbing about it, you just sit quietly and think of how was this person able to manage the finances. So you need to get curious about what did they do right. You can go even and ask. There is nothing becoming small or bigger when you do that, right? So first that should be very clear that what your wants and needs are. कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि तुमको कार नहीं चाहिए थी, but just because your neighbor has brought a car, now you want a car. That is very superficial way of living, and then you really need to think about, go to the basic level and think about your needs and wants and so on. So now let's move on to certain comparisons when it comes to people. For example, when you are joining colleges, first year में ऐसा होता है कि you make groups, you make friends, all of that. And final year में आते आते you'll see that some of your friends are not your friends anymore, or you will see that there are lots of changes in the relationships that you go through. During this time, when you see that maybe your best friend has joined another group, or your best friend is doing something else, and then what do is that this sense of rejection sprouts a lot of jealousy sometimes, a lot of possessiveness sometimes. Sometimes it becomes that I am not good enough kind of factors. So for that, what we generally tend to do is do an unfair comparison. So if you compare yourself with others on unfair basis, for example, there are many women in the world who are prettier than me, who look better than me, who may also speak better than me. There is Oprah Winfrey. There are so many other that are actually an inspiration from me. Now, if I sit here and keep getting jealous of those women, that okay, how did they go to that platform? And I also wanted that platform. I also want to be a good speaker. I also want to motivate the masses, inspire the masses. But when I enter the zone of jealousy, I don't get to learn anything. So, first is that I recognize what is my area that I am really good at, and how can I leverage that particular thing. So, instead of, comparing myself towards some unfair things, I always remind myself of the compliments that people have given me. So, what are some compliments that people give me and what I have for other people to be offered? So, I'm giving my example because that's easiest for me. So, things like you are very inspiring, you make us understand things really well. So, when it comes to understanding, I am sort of unbeatable too when it comes to understanding people, because I have worked a lot on myself. I've worked a lot on understanding myself, giving myself that space of empathy and deep introspection. And I am really good at holding that particular space. So I know that no matter what kind of relationship I am entering, I can provide a very deep understanding to the person. I can always provide that particular thing to that person. So when it comes to other things, they will always become secondary for me. And that point of jealousy will not sprout out because my fundamentals are very, very strong. I am internally secured because I am self-aware. So everything boils down to only one factor. Do you know what is your playing field? Do you know which is the sport that you're best at? For example, one player cannot be good at every single sport, right? There cannot be one world class player which is good at football also, cricket also, badminton also, volleyball also, swimming also. You know, there might be very rare person like that. So we just cannot say that okay, I also want to become that person and play every sport and beat that person at every sport. Like this, you are a slave of other what other people are making you feel. In that particular case, you choose your sport and you choose on the basis of what I internally like and love to play, and you become unbeatable at that particular sport. So when you do that and when you know what you have to offer, but people want certain other things. Okay, something that might not be your playing field, something that not might be your particular sport, then it is always genuine to accept that this person can be really happy in some other group and something that is genuinely good for them. So you would be literally okay with letting go of people when you have this kind of attitude for yourself and for others. So we have to understand that we need to be very, very committed towards our own evolution if we want to develop this unbeatable kind of attitude towards life. And this emotion of jealousy will sprout the least inside of your life. So, as I know that this particular emotion comes very often to people who feel deeply insecure about certain things. They might feel insecure about their looks, they might feel insecure about their a way of speaking, the way of styling, the list goes on and on and on. And when it is about these deep insecurities, we need to sit with those insecurities and remind yourself that what can be done to make yourself more and more secured as a person. Always remember, when internally you are a secured person, you show up very secured in relationships. You show up as a very calm, collected, a beautiful individual, an amazing individual to be around whenever you present yourself. And there comes a natural charm, enigma, magnetism, and people would just love to be around you. You will not have to do a conscious effort to fit in. but you will be choosing where I want to go and what I want to do. So if you want to work on feeling deeply secure, you can always reach out to me. You'll find the link to book a session with me in the description box.